So my name is Cassie. I'm the first affirmative speaker. I'm going to present the argument against labor unions for the teachers across America. Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines a labor union as an organization of workers formed for the purpose of advancing member interests in respect to wages, benefits, and working conditions. Labor unions were originally formed for the purpose of functioning as a buffer between the laborer and the employer. When the rights of the employee were threatened by coercion from the employer and were often taken advantage of, unions were the most effective way to protect the employee. However, over the several decades since labor unions were formed, their bargaining power over employers has far exceeded their purpose. The collective bargaining power of employers has now reached a level at which compliance has become mandatory and arbitration is obsolete. Bargaining is now coercion, and bullying and compromise has transformed into forceful decision-making. The out-of-proportion power of the teachers' unions in America has become a detriment to the progression of public education, and the result is seen in the state of America's education system. The affirmative side arguments, first, are that the collective bargaining of teachers' unions has created a deficit in the educational process for public education. Two, that existing policy on protection of unions' rights to collective bargaining harms the school's ability to motivate effective teachers and control the quality of teaching staff. Our third point, we propose that the collective bargaining rights of unions should be limited because they protect the jobs of poor teachers and impede education reform that is highly necessary at this point. According to the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or the OECD, the United States ranks 18th among 36 surveyed nations, with South Korea at the top of the list. In South Korea, where 93% of high school students graduate on time, as compared to the United States, where only 75% receive their diplomas. America is one of the highest funded education systems, and the deficit in the student success in education is not due to a lack of funds, but to some other source. Our argument will show the solid evidence against teachers' unions as the source of decrease in value of education across the United States. The strong arm of the teachers' union protects tenure for ineffective teachers with low success rates and bans merit pay from their contracts. By eliminating the option of merit pay, unions effectively remove any motivation for teachers to increase and improve their performance in the classroom. Good teachers and bad teachers are paid the same regardless of their performance in the classroom. According to Jason Cameron, the Teacher of the Year in 2006, and Teacher Quality Control in Washington, D.C., stated that we, under the current contract, cannot pay teachers more based upon their performance. When asked why, he simply stated, "It's not in the contract." According to research by Calder expert Eric Hanishek, with effective teachers, students achieve about 3 times the academic gains they make with less effective teachers, regardless of their background. That means that in one school year, students get about 1.5 years' worth of learning from the strongest teachers and only about ½ a year's worth from the weakest. In 2003, a Los Angeles lawyer for the American Federation of Teachers Unions stated that if I'm representing them, it's impossible to get them out. It's impossible unless they commit a lewd act. Unfortunately for students who have to learn from these educators, virtually every teacher who works for Los Angeles Unified School District receives this tenure. Tenure, while once created for the purpose of securing positions and pay for well-experienced and highly successful teaching professionals, is now granted to public school teachers after only 2 years of teaching experience. After granted tenure, research shows that these teachers are nearly impossible to fire regardless of their effectiveness, success rate, or behavior on the job. According to statistics gathered by the Department of Education in 2007 and 2008, the firing rate of experienced teachers is 2.03%. For probationary teachers, it is 0.93%. In the private sector, or those teachers employed through private schools, the firing rate is 9.8%. The National Council on Teacher Quality prepared the following report card on the national level for the following areas of education system. On expanding the pool of teachers, D+. On identifying effective teachers, D-. On retaining effective teachers, C+. And on dismissal of ineffective teachers, D-. The jobs of ineffective teachers are protected by the power of the teachers' unions, when in reality the employer should have the right to fire or hire who they see fit to teach America's children. According to Davis Guggenheim, the director of Waiting for Superintendent, the recent film that came out on education reform, reformers and experts will tell you that their biggest obstacle to real reform is their contract with teachers' unions, which ties their hands. Instead of rewarding effective teachers with merit pay and job security, unions reward guaranteed job security and pay raises to all teachers regardless of their overall quality, effectiveness, and success in the classroom. Since we believe that excellence on the part of the teacher is vital to the success of children in the classroom, we support the limitation of collective bargaining for teachers' unions across the nation.